broadcasting live around the world from Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. This is Runway DFW in color.
Thanks to Warren Barnett, our official announcer of Runway DFW. It's Walt here, and we are live. And you may be wondering, where is this place we're live from today? Well, let me give you a look at it here. We're at City Plaza, which is overlooking Owen Roberts Airport here in the Cayman Islands. We're on the upper deck, so we've got a very nice view of things. We are here courtesy of Property Plus Real Estate, who has given us permission to hang out up here. And we're also standing in front of the Glow, what is it called? Glow Luxury Salon. So there's where we are today here at City Plaza, and we're overlooking the airport. There's the main terminal of Owen Roberts Airport. We're just adjusting our controls here, because we're in a little different setup than we normally have. So we do have 3 cameras. I've been spending the better part of the last hour setting everything up, and so we're here. This is not going to be anywhere close to what you expect to see when you're at DFW Airport or even Love Field as far as activity goes, because there's just not that much going on here most of the time. The reason we came on the air at this hour is because this gives us the most concentrated view of aircraft and activities here. I think we've got, what's that over there? Hang on, I'm looking for it on my, there we go. So I believe this is a Convair of some sort of cargo plane. We've seen this last couple of times we've been with you. And I believe that's the one that's from the 1950s. We'll have to check that out when it comes back on the radar. Well, we welcome everyone. Let's see. We're in a kind of a limited setup today, and I was hoping... Oh, there it is. Okay, now I can do that. I was hoping to be able to monitor your messages through a secondary phone. So I've got here a secondary phone. I've got my phone, which gives me the Flight Radar 24 information. I have this, which I can use to look at what you are saying. So let's see if we can put some of these messages on the screen. Aviation with Tavik, or Tavi, KY, says I'll be there in a bit. This is a streamer who operates here in the Cayman Islands, and I think I've met him before. And he has his own channel, and he posts things regularly. I don't know if he does any live content. So, Tavi, hope to see you. Is Gerard with us? Gerard is with us. Hello, Gerard. Gerard is everybody knows him in the aviation community. He's a well-known moderator, and he is kind enough to drop in today. He's also a channel member. Thank you, Gerard. Thomas Moore CQ says, I was going to ask if you were back at the Salon. Well, there's certain permissions that I seek to be able to come over here. One of them is with the fine folks at the Glow Salon, and the other is with Property Plus Real Estate. They own this area, so I want to make sure I've cleared it all with everybody. So what do we have to see right now? Well, over at the terminal, there's 2 Cayman Airways 737 MAX 8s and an American Airlines plane that came in while we were setting up. I'm looking at the radar, and We have American Airlines Flight 301 coming in from Charlotte. I believe that's a daily flight, or at least multiple times a week. That'll be a MAX 8, and that'll be here in about 13 minutes, it says here. That's Flight 301. Video recording mode. Am I in video recording mode? I didn't know I was in video recording mode. Maybe I pushed the wrong button. Okay. Well, anyway, I hope everything's working out all right. Let's see. We have Anna, the dispatcher, in here, who is about to go to bed because she had to work overnight. So Anna's one of our moderators and channel members. And Anna, good for you to pop in here. Maybe you can check things out later on. Battling for Brody says hello. Larry Brown with a tropical hello to y'all. Stefan is saying hello. Randy, hello to you, Randy. Thomas Moore CQ, hope you and Mrs. Runway DFW are having a fun vacation. Yes, I feel like I've lost all connection with the world. I've actually not been, we haven't done a stream since a week ago today, and we've lost our number one camera here. Hold on a second. I think that's only a temporary glitch. There we go. Okay, so yes, it's hot and humid here. I can't read what's on the screen here. That's another thing that's kind of says 30 degrees Celsius, 85 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 15 or 20 degrees cooler than it is at DFW, although the humidity is fairly oppressive here, as you might expect in a tropical climate adjacent to the sea. And so it's a bit sticky out here. I think as we were setting up and we're trying to get our signal engaged. Let me get this camera straightened out here a little bit. We can kind of see through waving palm fronds a ship out in the harbor. And cruise ships come here quite regularly to the Cayman Islands. Sometimes there's 2 and even 3 in a day, but right now there's just this one that I can see. So in addition to that American Airlines flight from Charlotte, a MAX 8, we've got another MAX 8 right behind it, and that will be another Cayman Airways plane arriving from Miami. And that one is probably more like 20 minutes. No, that says 12 minutes away. And the American Airlines plane, which will be our first arrival here on our live stream, is in about 3 minutes. So we're going to get set up to look out for that one. Because of where we are on a patio, not a patio, but I guess kind of a balcony overlooking the airport. Because of our location, we don't get a clear view of the planes as they come in. So we basically see them as they touch down. And we also don't get a really great view of the planes after they take off. We kind of see them lift off the runway and then they kind of disappear. So our sight lines are not perfect, but it's a really great location to just hang out and watch planes. So we're happy to have you along with us for the ride. Chris with his camera saying that was a Carnival cruise ship we were looking at. I guess that is... oh, wait. That is a result of the design of the... Do they still call it a smokestack? I'm not sure what they call it. Yeah, I'm not a cruise person. Never been on a cruise. Mrs. Runway DFW and I have debated whether that's something we ever want to do. So far, nah. Jonathan saying that Convair reminds me so much of the lovely classic Vickers Viscount. Lovely aircraft. The first I ever flew in. Let's get another look at that before the American Airlines plane comes in from Charlotte. We should be seeing this one taking off before we sign off. Let me get that locked in there again. There it is. And now I think I see the American Airlines plane, so hold on. Can we see it in this from this angle? Now we get a little tiny view of it here. This once again, American Flight 301 from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's an obscured view, I know. So our next shot of it will be from this angle as it roars by us. Do I Need One is here with us. Hello, Walt. Hey, everyone. We are happy to have you along for the ride here on this special Runway DFW at-large broadcast from a steamy Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. We'll get you oriented here in just a minute. Here comes the American Airlines plane. Owen Roberts Airport, like San Diego, is a single runway airport. So everything is handled by this one runway, which is more or less oriented. The planes are coming in from the west and landing to the east. Or, you know, as they go, they're coming in from the west, kind of the west-southwest. And I don't know if they have had reverse ops here. I've never seen reverse ops here. They always seem to come in over the city, and we'll show you a little bit of what that looks like later in the broadcast. So the planes have to turn around, and I believe, let's see, there's a little land, kind of a pad out there at the end where they can turn around. I don't know if there's a full taxiway that comes back this direction, or if they have to hop over to the runway in order to make it back to the terminals. But in order to take off, they do have to, I believe the term is called back taxi along the main runway to get to the takeoff position. The largest plane that comes in here on a regular basis anyway is the British Airways 777-200. That will not be coming in today. It usually comes in late in the afternoon. Yeah, let's see. That comes in from Nassau in the Bahamas. But we will not see it. This will be our only transmission of the vacation. A special thanks to our executive producer, Mrs. Runway DFW. Hello. For letting me go for a little bit to do this with you. I hear the FedEx feeder firing up. See if we can get a look at that. Well, I'm using a camera I haven't used in such a long time. We're using our camcorders today. Well, this one snuck in on us, didn't it? Thought the next one we were getting was the Cayman Airways flight from Miami, but this is Cayman Airways Express. That's coming in from Little Cayman, which is one of the two sister islands to Grand Cayman, where we are. It's about 90 miles to the northeast of us. And so these operate on a shuttle basis to Little Cayman. Little Cayman, as the name might suggest, is the smallest of the 3 Cayman Islands. There's also Cayman Brac. And Mrs. Runway DFW was doing some research this morning. She said, well, why couldn't we just take a boat over to one of the sister islands? Well, there is no scheduled passenger boat service to either of the islands, at least not now. I guess you could charter a boat or something like that, but it's an ATR right there, an ATR 72. It's a FedEx feeder operated by Gulf and Caribbean Cargo. This one's going to Kingston, Jamaica. It's a 5-year-old plane. An aircraft we do not see, at least not regularly, at DFW Airport. There's that Convair right behind it. So what's going to happen is this plane is going to back taxi along the main runway right in front of us, and then it will make a U-turn and take off. That is the control tower, as you might expect here. Kind of short and squatty, but it's certainly tall enough for them to see what they need to see at this facility. Cassie wants to know, when do you all come home? We come home on Saturday. We travel on a non-stop American Airlines flight from DFW, and that's, as far as I know, there's only one. It's a once-weekly flight. I believe they increase the frequency during the peak holiday season, but for right now, I've got to untangle that. I had a collapsing secondary camera here. The camera where I say hello to you had kind of fallen off. It flopped down. It didn't hit the ground, fortunately, but I had to reorient it. Michael Flannery says, hello, Walt. Hope the trip is going well. Thank you. Cassie points out there's no Subarus in the Caymans. No. As I said, the biggest jet that comes in here regularly is not that one, but it's the British Airways 777. So we're still locked in on that ATR. This is Cayman Airways Flight 103 from Miami, a MAX 8. And MAX 8's very, very popular here, it seems. The only jet that Cayman Airways flies is the MAX 8. So this is scooting right down the runway, back taxiing. We'll kind of go out of our view for a little second or two as it turns around, then we'll watch it take off. We have a Cayman Airways Express Saab 340B, which is circling around to land. It should be here in just a couple of minutes. I think it has to mark some time out over the sea until this FedEx feeder ATR takes off. We do not have any tower communications. It's not a thing which is permitted here in the Cayman Islands. That Cayman Airways MAX 8 that came in from Miami had to wait for the, I'm guessing had to wait for the ATR to take off before it could move on down to the terminal area. And so at this point, the Cayman Airways Express Saab 340B is now on its way in. Beautiful livery for the Cayman Airways aircraft. And there on the front, the peg-legged Sir Turtle with a red scarf and a, well, I say as a and a peg leg. The turtle is, in fact, turtles are very well cared for here in the Cayman Islands. We were just hanging out on the beach the other day, and there was a crew of uniformed, well, they had t-shirts and khakis, 3 young women who were, it was weird because they're lying down on the sand one after the other, reaching their arms down into this what seemed like an impossibly deep hole. And out of the hole, they were picking turtle eggs. These were turtle eggs which had been laid and which, for the most part, had not developed. And so what they do is they kind of do a survey or a census, I guess. And they collect these eggs as they lift them out, and they record them, and they record where they were laid. And so it's our understanding that most, turtles lay, I don't know, dozens of eggs, maybe hundreds, I'm not sure. Some of which are viable, and they crawl themselves out of this deep hole and just march on into the sea without any further assistance. But, a certain number of the eggs do not develop, are unviable, and they So they collect these, and then they count them, and they check the condition, and then they rebury them. So there you have a Saab passenger aircraft. Just coming in from Cayman Brac, the other of the sister islands. There's Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. Now, Mrs. Runway DFW and I did pay a visit to Cayman Brac. I can't remember how long ago that was. More than 10 years, probably. The hard-working Cayman Airways 737 MAX 8s. This one is working again. This one's going to Panama City in Central America. Cayman Airways, I know they fly to Los Angeles. I think that's a weekly flight. I believe they fly to New York, one of the airports in New York. I'm not sure what other domestic airports they fly to. I know they have flown to Houston before. They have definitely flown to Dallas, Fort Worth, but not in recent years, to the best of my knowledge. I'm guessing they kind of pick and serve routes that are underserved by other major airlines. So I believe Cayman Airways has 4, 5, 6, something like that, MAX 8s. There's Sir Turtle there on the forward of the fuselage. I want to thank Jonathan McD for sending a Runway DFW gift membership. I'm hoping that these are appearing on the screen. Let me make sure I turned that on. No, I did not, so okay. I apologize for that. We are, this is not our regular setup here, so I can't, I'm a little crippled as far as that goes, so I apologize if I miss anybody's messages. Or Gerard, well, Gerard is here. Gerard also sent a gift membership. Thank you so much, Gerard. And we'd like to thank Aaron, who's been a Twinjet member now for 11 months, is planning to go to Beijing in October on Air China. Thanks so much for your support. I see Beaker and Honeydew, one of our mods, is here with us. Along with Josh Aldrich. Hello, Josh. All right, here comes the MAX 8. I hear it. I don't know if we're going to see any more of that one unless it makes a big left turn in the sky here. So that's the Cayman Airways flight to Panama City. We have Air Canada flight 1830, another MAX 8. Wow, this is like the MAX 8 capital of the world. It is coming in from Toronto. This plane operated by Air Canada Rouge. And it's be here in about 5 minutes. We don't have quite the variety of international airlines that we have had here on previous occasions at Owen Roberts International Airport. Because in addition to Cayman Airways and American Airlines, which you see them lined up there in front of the terminal over there, JetBlue serves this airport. I think the next JetBlue flight I have seen is not until Saturday. Saturday's at the biggest travel day here, Saturday and Sunday. But we're leaving on Saturday, so I can't bring you a broadcast then. But let's see here, what else we got. As far as today goes, so that next arrival is Air Canada. Then we got another American Air. Then we've got Cayman from, no, those are lane. A Delta flight will be coming in afternoon, probably about 45 minutes or an hour from now. It's a little bit delayed. And we've got an IBC Airways. I'm not sure what that is. I hear a helicopter. Couldn't make out the markings on that. I know that there are, I believe there's a tourist helicopter to give sightseeing flights. I'm not sure if that's it. That plane, that helicopter did not show up on our radar. JMC, excuse me, I'm going to have to get a drink here in a second. What's the Cayman Islands famous for? Well, currently, it's probably most famous for being an international banking center. There are no direct taxes levied in the Cayman Islands. That is, there's no income tax. There's no sales tax, but their imported goods face tariffs. You've heard that word before. So, so the government does get money from there, and I think they also get some income from financial transactions and, you know, business licensing and all that. But it's well known as a tax haven, Cayman Islands is. And Mrs. Runway DFW notes that it's also famous for turtles, rum cakes, pirates, And great snorkeling. Yes. I miss Runway DFW. He's a big time snorkeler. I'm going to try to get you an incoming shot of this Air Canada plane coming in from Toronto, MAX 8, flight 1830, Air Canada. Fortunately, our focus is on the palm fronds, but that just adds to the tropical flavor of Runway DFW, does it not? So we'll get set up for the main event here in just a second. Yes, I do have plenty of water with me. I just haven't gotten it out of my water bag yet. So Tavi says you can use a radio for ATC communications. It's actually allowed. Well, my understanding, now maybe you can correct me on this, is you can listen to it as an individual, but I'm not sure you can rebroadcast it. I think that's the issue that I came up with. And of course, you know, when we do our domestic programs, we rebroadcast the air traffic control on our channel. So maybe you can clear things up with me. I do have a radio that I could tune into the frequency with and plug it in if we find out that that's indeed allowed. So there's Air Canada 1830 completing its flight from Toronto after 3 hours and 26 minutes in flight. Meredith Holmes says apparently this airline flies to LAX. I've never seen it there before. I love their livery. I see it, I think I see it all the time on Kevin's AVL broadcast on Sunday. So I think they fly on Sunday. Or maybe they arrive on Saturday night and they go out early on Sunday, is my recollection, at least last I saw. Pipe Organs and Jets and y'all says good afternoon. Y'all, appropriately enough. Mrs. Runway DFW is returning to the sea. Me, I'm the chicken of the sea, but she's going right out there. There's our friend Beaker and Honeydew with greetings to some of our viewers. Okay, so Thomas Moore says Cayman flies to LAX on Saturday and then returns the next morning on Sunday. Okay, that's what I remember seeing. The Big Ron Bowski says, Mr. Walt, hope you and Mrs. Runway DFW have been enjoying the island life. We have. It's been a real slowdown for me, working full time and then doing this for you on usually 3 days a week or 3 nights a week. So it's, yeah. Although, because we have both an election this week in Oklahoma and high school sports football starting tonight, I've had to be online back to work a little more often than I would have hoped because there were technical things that had to be addressed. Which I'm obliged to handle, so yeah, I've been several hours working at my regular job from this tropical paradise. There's that Air Canada jet pulling in to Owen Roberts International Airport.
From the Cayman Islands, it's Runway DFW.
Thanks again to our friend, Warren, and announcer. This is Runway DFW at Large, live from GCM, Grand Cayman, Owen Roberts International Airport. And that is a closer look at the Cayman Airways livery, at least the tail part of it. Beautiful. Very nice. And we thank you for joining us on this Thursday. Well, it's Thursday morning here, at least for another 30 minutes. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aircraft over there at the terminal with the Air Canada Max 8 joining the others. We didn't come in on a Max 8. We came in on just a regular old Boeing 737-800 from DFW, and I think that's the type of plane we'll be departing on. And let me double check the radar here to see if we got anything happening. As far as arrivals go, let's see, it's 11:30. Looks like our next arrival is going to be Delta Flight 600, 737-800 coming in from Atlanta. It's been delayed. It's supposed to be here in about 8 minutes, but that looks like about a half-hour delay on that one, so that'll be afternoon. And as far as departures go, we don't have anything going until about a quarter after noon, so we've got some time to kill here. But you know what? We've come prepared here at Runway DFW. Oh, we have come prepared. Oh, I hear a helicopter, so let's get that before we fill some time. Helicopter does have some markings on it. I don't know if it's a government helicopter or if it's a tourist helicopter. Perhaps you can make out what's on it. I cannot. I'm going to say that's probably a tourist helicopter. Let me see if I can look at it on the big screen here. Cayman Islands helicopters. Yeah, probably tourists. Land on a little skid there with wheels. I guess it can be towed to a hangar when needed. So that may be all the action we see for another half hour or so. So we'll spend some time hanging out with you here. I see Meredith Holmes has become a Twin Jet member. Oh, thank you, Meredith. Ryan Henry says we had Aer Lingus A330 here at DFW last night. Pretty neat to see. Wow. I forgot to change out Nightbot to give the current conditions here at this airport. So I think it's still a little hotter in DFW than it is here. It's been very hot back home since we've been here. It seems like it's been going up towards the 110s every day. I don't know if it hit 110, but it certainly has been exceeding 100. And I think the last 4 or 5 times we've been on the air, even at night from DFW Airport, it was always started out being 100 or 101 or 102. Fahrenheit, of course. If you're wondering what all the noise is, we don't. There's some, I guess, the passengers on that flight getting off. You can see we're adjacent to a road here. And, of course, driving is on the left, as is custom in British-oriented places. And this is is an independent British overseas territory, but is the Cayman Islands. But King Charles is the monarch here. You'll see his photograph in public places. We're about to get a little treat here as IFL Group Flight 908. This is a Convair CV 5800. Is on the move. It's going to Miami. And you'll never guess how old this plane is, but you know what? We do have a jingle for it.
$19.56.
Yes, this is a 70-year-old airplane. The oldest one we've regularly seen here on Runway DFW. We've seen this one a couple times, or at least, I don't know, maybe they have more than one of these, but we've definitely seen this 70-year-old plane. And here it is. It's probably doing daily duty on this flight back and forth to Miami. And of course, Miami is a big transit hub, not only for people who come here, but also for goods. Cayman Islands makes very little here as far as manufacturing goes. You think, oh, maybe they have a bottling company for beverages. Well, all the Coca-Cola I've been drinking comes from Puerto Rico, and most of the other soft drinks and bottled drinks come from either the U.S. or some from Jamaica, some from the UK. So this is Convair CV5800. We'll see it again as it takes off. Serial number 343. Registered in the USA. Here it goes. Wow. We've speculated before, where would you get parts for a 70-year-old plane? And I guess there must be a Convair graveyard somewhere. But wow, it's a sight to see. So IFL Group, operated by Gulf and Caribbean Cargo. It's a real privilege to see. Of course, you see a lot of planes like that that you don't see elsewhere in Miami coming in from the Caribbean and Central America and South America. Planes that have long disappeared from the U.S. aviation landscape. American Flight 1301 to Miami. No, this is a 737-800. Not a MAX. And I believe American flies at least a couple, maybe 3 flights daily between here and Miami. Anyway, it is on the radar. It is due to depart at noon. So it's one of those 2 planes there. It's a 12-year-old 737-800. Flight to Miami is about 450 miles. Takes just a little over an hour from here. And if you're wondering about the time zone that we're in, we're on the same time zone currently. Well, we're in the same... The clock is the same here as it is in the central time zone in the U.S., but that's because Cayman Islands does not observe daylight saving time. So it's on Eastern Standard Time year-round. So when the time changes in the central time zone, then there'll be an hour difference. But right now we're essentially in the central time zone. All right, do we need to fill some time? This plane's not taking off till for another 15 minutes. I'd say yes, we do have some time to fill, and what better to fill time with than this? It is the Cayman Islands Time Filler Theater. Yes, it's back. And this time, we're going to, let's see, we've got several things we can do. Let's take a look at our arrival here on the islands. This fine view was filmed by Mrs. Runway DFW, who took up the window seat. There's downtown Georgetown there spreading out in front of us. 7 Mile Beach is in the background. Can't really see it from here. That's kind of the business center of the islands. And we're on approach to Owen Roberts International Airport. There's the rim of the airport. Go past Foster's, the supermarket there, and here we are, just about to land. See the terminal there. And a couple of planes parked there. It was all American Airlines planes when we landed on Saturday. Here we are coming off our 737, looking right at another American Airlines plane. Well, actually, I'll take that back, because once we get off the plane, we will see a Cayman Airways Express plane after getting off. You can feel the blast of humidity as you emerge from the air-conditioned fuselage. Look back at our aircraft. There's that Cayman Airways Express plane, which was revving up. I don't know if it just landed or if it was about to take off. And just walking to the, as you can see, there's no jetways here. It's all stairways. Some airlines have ramps, kind of zigzag ramps, but there are no jetways here. Sorry. And then from there, it's a short walk to the terminal building where you go through customs, which of course we're not allowed to film. So that's going to end that look at how we arrived. That was last Saturday. So our thanks to Mrs. Runway DFW for that exquisite job of, well, at least filming the through the window. I took care of the rest. Meredith Holmes says, where is this? Let's say hello to Eyeglass Lady. Hello, Walton, everyone. We've been to the Cayman Islands eons ago. Very steamy in July, but we liked what we saw. Was part of a cruise. Okay, yeah, we get a lot of people here on cruises. In fact, we'll on one of our time fillers later, we'll take a look at one of the cruise ships a little more closely than the one we can currently see through the palm fronds. See if we can get another look at it here. It is our information that this is a Carnival cruise ship. I don't know which one. I know there is, somebody pointed this out on an earlier broadcast from here, that there is a website or an app analogous to Flight Radar 24, but for cruise ships, so you can see where ships are wherever they are in the world, and where they're going and where they came from and all that stuff. I don't have that, so. Roadstone says, I saw DC-3 a couple of years back. I waved at him and he dipped his wing. One of top coolest aviation things. Yeah? My policy here on Runway DFW is I don't wave at airplanes. If they want to wave at me, that's fine. But I don't want to in any way distract a pilot from what they're trying to do. So, and that's just me. I don't think it does any harm. And I think most pilots would say, that's not a problem. But I just want to make sure that I don't contribute to anything that goes wrong. You know what I mean? Do a little tripod adjusting while we have some few moments of downtime. We'll be here through probably about 1 o'clock, maybe a little later, just because there's not a lot going on after that until later in the afternoon, and it would just be more time that would need to be filled. So the American flight to Miami is now pushing back, or being pushed back. Our glass lady says we are on Carnival, but we tendered then. Well, all the ships, and I think what she's referring to is the tenders are the small boats that sail up to the cruise ships and then take passengers who want to get off to shore. They do not have any docking facilities here, at least not yet. I think there's been talk about creating them, but there are no docking facilities, so the boats have to hang. These cruise ships have to anchor out in the harbor, and then if you do want to go to shore, you have to go on one of these what are known as tenders. I see here, oh, there's Meredith, who was about to get off because she had a meeting. We're glad you were with us for as long as you could be. Joshua LeClaire with a good morning to you. Hello to you. Very happy to see a lot of our regular viewers, and then if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing, and that way you can join in the chat, because that's a privilege that only our subscribers have access to. And as Nightbot says, it's totally free. The all-knowing Nightbot. Kind of working overtime here in the day. Well, as you can see, there's just not a lot going on here at Owen Roberts International Airport. This plane will be taking off in just a few minutes. We are coming to you, this update from Beaker Honey. We are coming to you in 1080p today. I do notice a couple of dropped frames, just a handful. We're prepared to dial things back if we have to, but I think we've got enough internet connectivity to get us through the rest of our broadcast here. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Giant dump truck just going past. And we'll talk a little more later about the variety of motor vehicles that are here on this tiny island. You see way more different types of vehicles here than just about any place I've ever been. Cayman Islands have a population of more than 90,000 30,000, which makes this the most populous British overseas territory. Another interesting fact about the island that we're on, Grand Cayman, which is the largest of the Cayman Islands. The highest point on this island is, get your Dramamine out, is 59 feet. So it's essentially just a flat island, which of course makes it very susceptible to damage from not only wind but from water during storms. They've had some big ones here, but they bounce back every time. One of the biggest impediments to tourism here in recent years was the COVID epidemic. The government shut down the island to anybody coming in. We were talking with a waiter last night at we went to an Italian restaurant here on the island, and our server has lived here his entire life. Although my wife he was mistaken. Let me put it this way. She mistook him as an Italian, which she was partly right, because he is half Italian, but his dad is Italian, his mom is Caymanian. They met at a spring break festival in Miami. And he decided that, I guess they both decided that they were going to get together after that, and so they did. And so our server was telling us all about his experience. Said he can speak Italian and understand Italian, but he can't read or write Italian. Here goes the American Airlines flight to Miami. Runway here, 7,800 feet long. That compares with the north-south runways at DFW Airport, which are more than 13,000 feet long. And if you at the end of the runway here is a bay, so you don't want to go beyond that. So Toby says it's the Carnival Horizon, which is in port today out of Miami. So for all you cruise ship fans, let's see, we just can't get a clear shot of it. Well, yes, it's a little, that shot is a little bit impeded. But there's a terminal in downtown Georgetown, which is the capital here, where the tender boats arrive and the visitors can walk about. They can go on tours, they can shop in downtown Georgetown. Kirksney, did I read that right? Seeing American at Grand Cayman, it's like we never left DFW at all. I know. Well, there's only one American plane left here, as opposed to the countless dozens that we see when we're hanging out with you at DFW Airport. Ducky Pam says, good morning. I'm working, so mostly listening in. I do that too when I'm listening to other streams sometimes, so no shame in that. Well, let's see. Let me take a look at it's just after noon here. Let's identify ourselves once again, shall we?
Broadcasting live around the world from Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. This is Runway DFW in color.
We are indeed. We are coming to you from City Plaza, which is right across from the airport, as you can see. The mighty City Plaza complex. We're on the second level there. Our hosts today are Property Plus Real Estate, who manage this establishment. So they've given us permission to be here. Thank you, Property Plus. And also to the Glow Luxury Salon that we're standing right in front of their windows. And that's our viewpoint here today at Owen Roberts Airport. Welcome, if you've just joined us, just after noon. We'll be here with you for about probably another 90 minutes or so, depending on how things go. We should see some action here in this hour of the broadcast. Delta Flight 600 from Atlanta, 737-800, has been was delayed by about a half hour. It's coming in now. It'll be here in about 9 minutes. Got anything else coming in? Not immediately, so we may have to fall back into time-killing mode after the Delta flight arrives. We may have to go to time-killing mode right now because we're trying to get things going here. Let's see. Let's take a look at the traffic. We have a traffic report. Here's a look at some of the traffic around Owen Roberts Airport. I'm not sure what the name of that road is, but it leads kind of away from the airport. The roads are fairly congested here in, at least in Grand Cayman, at least this part of Grand Cayman. A lot of commerce, a lot of tourists. Most of the rental cars are marked as rental cars, so you know that they're tourists. And as we pointed out on previous visits with you from here, This is the, well, I don't know. I guess maybe because of its UK heritage, it has a lot of traffic circles, or roundabouts as they're also known. And there are certain rules you have to be familiar with to kind of navigate a roundabout. I think I know most of them now. But the roundabout situation has kind of turned off Mrs. Runway DFW from wanting to drive here. Before we knew each other, she was coming here and she was driving herself around. But that was back in the day when it was a lot less developed. She's been coming here since the 80s. So you do the math. But we got married here in 1999. And even since then, it has changed quite a bit as far as, well, development, tall buildings, tall hotels. Not sure if this is a hotel or not, that big one there. But right along the main stretch of 7 Mile Beach, which is where the now it's kind of the hub of activity. Used to be some small, kind of 2-story boutique hotels, very laid back, and now it's almost nothing but big resorts. We are now awaiting the arrival of IBC Airways Saab 340 cargo plane coming from Montego Bay. There's one cargo operator at DFW that operates the Saab 340, or a variant for, again, for cargo use. Wait till it comes into view again. It's kind of gone beyond our range here. We run into the to a post. Peace Train says not too many planes landing. That is true, and I try to preface this event with the recognition that this is nowhere as near as busy as some of the major airports we go to. It's more kind of like a novelty, and it doesn't lend itself as much to a live presentation as like a DFW airport or a Dallas Love Field, because there just isn't that volume of traffic. But there you see the bay that's on the other end of this runway. And I'm trying to see. I'm assuming that the Saab 340 we saw did not go into the bay. It's just turning around down there somewhere. I cannot see it. But we'll see it here in a second. It may be that it has to wait down there for this Delta flight that's coming in. Okay, I can see the plane now because I can poke my head around these posts that I can't manage that with our cameras. Here it comes. We did want to tell you that this is a 20th century plane from the year
1987.
Not quite as old as what was that? That Convair, 1956? So our next island visitor will be the Delta Flight 600 from Atlanta, 737-800. Should be coming into view momentarily. Grump E1. Here's props. Yes, that's the Convair that we saw landing a moment ago. We could boat spot. Well, we're not really in a position to see boats for the most part from this locale. Here comes the Delta. Jasper Saberwolf says, funny, I keep thinking of old sea shanties with these location names. We have a new member popping up. Or, no, it's a membership anniversary, actually. That's Sarah the Real Deal, the Quadjet member. 3 years seems like yesterday, she says. Yes, 3. Count 'em. Years. Thank you, Sarah. Who has now visited us in person, I think. What has it been, 3 times? If I remember right. KFTW, right? Northwest Airlines flew 1 red Saab per day to DFW Terminal B back in the 90s. Howdy, American Eagle, also flew many ATR 42s and 72s. Yeah, I remember riding an ATR from between DFW and Corpus Christi. That would have been it's probably late 90s, I think. It was before the turn of the century. Right, here comes the delayed Delta flight from its home base in Atlanta. You get so used to seeing these planes landing one after the other and taking off one after the other at DFW, and it's like a gift when we get one that lands here or takes off here after an interminable wait. Cayman Airways used to fly to Havana. And they would advertise it. I looked, I didn't see any current flights between here and Havana by either Cayman Airways or Cubana or any other Airlines. I may have missed it, but I haven't seen one. Here's that IBC Saab 340, which just has parked. Its props have shut down, and it's got a cart coming out to collect bags, I guess, from that plane. I should say cargo. Bloodstone really likes the ATR 72s. Those are nice planes to watch. And again, FedEx flies those in and out of here. Or FedEx Feeder, I guess, uses those planes. So fun to see. And Nightbot and I thank all of our Runway DFW mods for being here today. Let's watch this Delta plane pull in, and then we may do some more time filling for you. Got a Copa Airlines MAX 9 flying just to the west of the Cayman Islands now at 35,000 feet, making a trip from Havana to Panama City. Don't think we can make that out. Got some clouds in the sky today, which keeps it a little cooler, I think. At least keeps the direct sun away. So where's Delta going to park? Looks like it's going to be between the Air Canada and one of the Cayman Airways planes. No, I was wrong. It's on the other side of Air Canada. Closer to us. That curved roof building is part of the main terminal. Our first visit here, we actually plane spotted from the deck right under that curved roof. We were told at the time it was going to be turned into a restaurant area, and which would have a nice view of the arrivals gates. I didn't see any sign of that having happened when we got there on Saturday. So I don't know what the status of that is. Jay Lebian says, looks like a Learjet's coming in according to flight radar. I shall take a look at that. There's a Learjet nearby, a Learjet 35A. It is coming from the Miami area. Looks like Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. And it is, see, it's at 1,700 feet. So yeah, I think it is coming in here. Thank you for that heads up. Because otherwise it's unidentified on radar. On flight radar, it's got a couple of question marks. next to its origination point and destination. So if it is coming here, it'll be here in a couple of minutes. Camera out. Here we are. Just was looking at a DHL truck which just checked in with that IBC plane that landed. So it's dashing off with some goods. Yeah, and I'm guessing this plane will be headed back to Miami not too long from now. Marcus Mueller is saying good afternoon from Germany. Hello from you. Hello to you from us. Guess it's early evening where you are. We're happy to see you with us. Oh, Mrs. Runway DFW back from her undersea adventure. She has, well, not undersea. She's a snorkeler, so she's kind of on top of the sea. But so far she's seen 2 big turtles. What else? Just an assortment of other sea creatures. A ray. Sparrow Racing is a fan of the Cayman Islands livery. Yeah, that is a very nice look. There's a close-up look at it, or at least the tail section of the plane. That's an image from our last visit with you. That was in May, towards the end of May, I believe. So let's get this Learjet out of the way, and then we can consider killing some time with you. Oh, so we have our sea report from Mrs. Runway DFW. Kind of strong current today. Okay, back to the planes. That wasn't much of a report. Oh, I saw some lobsters. I thought I saw a sea monster, but it turned out to be a teenager with no flippers or fins. What kind of thing is that to say about today's youth, Mrs. Runway DFW? All right, we're about to get locked in for a Learjet here. After which, I think we'll have some time to reflect on all sorts of things. We do have another IBC Airways Saab 340 coming in from Miami. It's here in about 30 minutes. And again, these flights are key to resupplying the grocery stores and auto parts stores, and well, I would think, probably mostly grocery stores with perishable goods, perishable items. The rest of the stuff can come in on boats. That's not time sensitive. The Joshua says, good afternoon from Mexico. And buenas tardes usted. Rohit Parkal, our newest moderator, says hello, hello to fellow mods. Thanks, Rohit. It's good to see you. Karen Monson says good afternoon. I've been on a Grand Cayman stream before with Runway DFW. Indeed, you have. Well, we're glad to see you back here amongst us. Yeah, we're waiting. Here's me. We're waiting on this steamy deck overlooking Owen Roberts International Airport here in Grand Cayman. It's hot. It's a little sticky, but you know, what do you expect? It's the tropics. Oh, man. That just came bouncing right in, didn't it? So from South Florida comes this executive Learjet. And you may have seen over here this American Airlines aeroplane has been pushed back, way back. This one should be going to Charlotte in just a few minutes. It's a MAX 8, flight 301. Running about 10 minutes behind its scheduled takeoff time of... Well, no, actually not. Oh, yes. Well, it's scheduled out at 12:30, and it's 12:26, so it's pretty close to on time. It says here the takeoff will now be at 12:40, which I guess seems about right based upon the... It's still getting taken care of there. We have a Cayman Airways MAX 8 going to Tampa, Florida at 12:50. It's about 20 minutes from now. And our next arrival looks to be 1 hour from now. American Airlines MAX 8 from Miami, flight 956. That one's running about 15 minutes behind schedule. So here comes that Learjet. I'd like to see some fire vehicle action here. Guess that was a fire truck. So, hope everything's okay wherever they're taking themselves to. Okay, so now we have two planes that have been pushed back. The American Airlines we saw and Cayman Airways going to Tampa. And this one's a Max 8. Julio F2930. Hello, Walt. Greetings from Virginia Beach. Haven't been to Grand Cayman. I was supposed to go, but our cruise ship deviated to Cozumel due to bad weather at the time. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe you'll get a chance to come back. Chris with his camera. Just got back from a fire run myself. And Brian says, oops, lost external sound. Is that? Have we lost sound? I see my meter bouncing around here. Let me make sure that everything is as it should be. Okay, I think we're good. Aviation Dreams. I didn't know the Cayman Islands had right-hand drive. Yes. I negotiated for a right-hand drive vehicle. You know, because it's kind of like, I think probably most American tourists would opt for the left-hand drive because they're familiar with it, but I don't know. I like to do as the natives do. Here comes that American Airlines Flight 301 MAX 8 going to Charlotte. And it is back taxiing along the single runway here. There are no taxiways astride the main runway for most of its length. I see that American announced a number of new routes today, international routes, none of which include Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, JFK, I think they all got some new routes, but not DFW, at least not yet. And they were all summer routes for starting next year, next season. Brian says, found my issue working and lurking interfered. Make it a great day. Thanks. So I should boost the plane's audio. Well, we can do that. There's not a lot. Most of what you're going to hear here, if I boost that up, is cars and trucks driving by. You will hear the planes as they go past us. Rohit Markal says right-hand drive is the best. Well, during our next time killer, we'll talk about cars. That's all we'll see unless it makes a nice left-hand banking turn here. It looks like it is. I just can't find it on my viewfinder. Oh well. Well, we'll give you a shot of the sky scene here. We've had mostly sunny skies during our stay since last Saturday, as is a kind of a tropical custom. We do get some occasional shower in the afternoon. We did yesterday. It's brief, and then it cools things down a little bit, and then the sun comes out again. Seen some nice sunsets here. We will have a look at one of those for you later in the presentation. And here's the Cayman Airways MAX 8, which is going to Tampa. And that is, of course, a very nice livery. Aviation with Tavi says, I have a friend on Air Canada Rouge. Can you give him a shout out? His username is Emptiest Freezer. Hello to you. And we can take a look. Well, let's see. We'll take a look at that plane parked over at the terminal after we get a look at. Well, you see it there. Try to get a closer look at that plane, which will be going out later. We've got this Cayman Airways plane now. Flight 202 to Tampa, Florida, MAX 8. Just about to take off. Here it comes. So Air Canada Flight 1831 headed back to Toronto is now on the radar. In fact, it's looks like it's just been pushed back. Let's see if we could find. You may be able to see it on a big screen TV. I can't pick it out from the. Oh, there. Is that it? No. Sorry. It's somewhere in that shot. So let's get back to the Air Canada plane, which aviation with Tavi, KY. I have a friend on this plane. Give him a shout out to Emptiest Freezer. So Emptiest Freezer, hello to you on that plane. Hope you have a great flight to the Great White North. That's very true, Mrs. Runway DFW. You're as young as you feel, right? Rohit said, I feel like a kid who needs hip, knees, and brain replacement. So Rohit says, in India, we refer to the Caribbean as the West Indies, and I have been to Jamaica and Barbados. I think I changed planes in Jamaica once. I think that's as close as I've gotten to a visit to Jamaica. Just to recap, at 12:41 Central Standard Time, you are watching Runway DFW at large, live from Grand Cayman. We are at Owen Roberts International Airport, GCM, and we'll be here with you for maybe another 45 minutes or so. We'll see how things go. We have dropped a couple of frames along the way, but for the most part our stream is holding out, for which we are thankful. I think the last times we've been here, we've done streams in 720p, 30 frames a second to kind of conserve bandwidth. So we're doing a little better today. Taking a sip of water here. I started talking and I didn't have a mic on. Our friend and channel moderator KMTX78 says, "Hi Walton friends, I feel old just getting back from the eye doctor, and now my low back hurts from their chair. Hope you are having a great time." Well, I hope you find a nice comfortable chair where you are now and settle in. And there's Beaker and Honeydew shilling for Runway DFW merch. Actually, he was talking about my hat. My hat today is not official merch. It's my hat with flaps and a longer brim to kind of keep the sun off of me. So we don't sell this. We do sell one a hat, a similar hat, but without the flaps with the Runway DFW logo on it. And you can, of course, get our shirt in an assortment of shirt colors. We have some jewels coming in. I can't see who they are from. Let me see here. A beach dog from Sarah the Real Deal. Thank you, Sarah. Bryce Jackson also, any American Airlines planes? We currently have 0 of them here. We had 2 earlier. Hello. And they have now come and gone. My executive producer is advising me we should do viewer photos. You know, we got a lot of viewer photos today. But let's watch this plane take off, and then we'll see what transpires, shall we? Not wasting any time. And once again, there's no taxiway to go to the end of the runway, so the airplanes have to back taxi on the runway. Of course, checking with the tower to make sure that there's no incoming traffic to interfere with that maneuver. Now we lose it for a second or two. So Angie wants her photo up if we have it. I'm trying to remember. When did Angie send that? Let me double check. Tim Heasley is here, saying hello to everyone. We're waiting on the takeoff of Air Canada. Here it comes. So now we should have some time to do some time killing. Well, I believe there to be a plane in that shop, but I just cannot make it out on my little teeny tiny screen here. Nope. Hello. Are you Tavi? Pleasure to meet you. I got your messages. We saw your friend take off.
Yeah, that's my friend.
That's cool.
He's going to Canada now.
Yeah.
He's going to do some school.
School?
Yeah.
No.
He's leaving for good.
So we're here with Tavi.
Hey, YouTube.
Did I pronounce it right?
Tavi.
Tavi. And you have a channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Aviation with Tavi. Aviation_Tavi. KY.
Okay, aviation_Tavi, TAVI, KY, which is the abbreviation for Cayman Islands. So how long have you been plane spotting?
This November, this upcoming November will be 4 years.
4 years, okay. Well, that's a lot. You've seen some changes here.
Yeah.
What's the biggest, let me see, where can I see it? Hang on a second. I have this microphone here. We can give Tavi a microphone. So, there you go. So what's the biggest airplane you see here is the 777, right?
Yeah, but we mostly get like very bigger planes. For example, we recently got the Airbus A400 Atlas from the UK Royal Air Force.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest one you've seen?
Oh, the biggest one I've seen? Oh, technically will be either between the A400 or the Antonov 12.
Oh, the Antonov just
Yeah.
landed here. Wow.
One came for our first Max 8, which is CIW. It was to replace an engine because the cycle had run out.
So they do the maintenance here. They don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the maintenance over there. If we need like a bigger maintenance, like longer months, we used to send them to San Jose. I don't think we do it anymore, but maybe.
Yeah.
I think our slots are open in like October, November. But yeah.
Now I read that there were some plans in the works, or at least thinking of extending the runway out into the bay. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, our government just approved to start the expansion, but we still have to get the environment report first, like for any birds, any natural habitats, because we don't want to destroy them.
Yeah.
We want to keep them, you know. So we're trying. Our government's trying to negotiate with the public and internally about the airport situation, because I think they just can't. They had a talk where the new GA stand, which they're gonna move all the private jets from here down to Gulf,
Oh.
but
Some. Hang on. Can we get through here? Hold on to that. Don't worry about it. Didn't want to miss this sob. So that
hey
came in.
guys, I just read in the comments.
So that plane just came in from Miami. A Saab 340A.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a jingle for this one. This is a 60-year-old plane from the year 1966.
This one, this IBC right here, they overnighted in Kingston, flew to Montego Bay this morning, and came over here. So probably they're gonna be with them, and they're gonna head to Miami together. Probably.
Okay.
We're not sure. It looks like it.
Well, you would know better than I. Yeah, let me get through here again. So we're talking with Tavi, who is a local plane spotter here. He has a channel on YouTube, and it's nice of you to stop by. How often do you come up here?
Maybe sometimes.
No.
But I mostly be over across the street to the
at
park.
that park?
Yeah. I mostly stand on the side for a better view.
Yeah. And I didn't think that would. I went over there. I didn't see a place where it would work for me for live.
Yeah, with your setup is renting any space over there.
Yeah.
So up here would be a little bit better.
Yeah. So they've been very nice to let us hang out up here. Well. Oh, and Mrs. Runway DFW has put Tavi's YouTube page up on the web. We're up in the chat. So that's great. It's so nice to meet someone who knows what they're talking about here. Because I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. Anything else we're about to miss? I don't see anything on the...
Oh, they did a 180 up there.
Yeah.
So they just, instead of taking the taxiway Gulf up there, they turned around.
Yeah.
So they can come back up there.
Right. So there it is. I think we're getting a little interference in one of our microphones. You may hear a little sizzle in there that's unintentional. Well, let you get back to what you were doing.
Oh yeah. I was gonna go home now.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tavi. It's so good to see you. Hang on a second. Hang on.
Thanks for subscribing, man.
Let me give you a. Did I ever give you a sticker?
A sticker?
Yeah. I got one in here. Huh? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Oh, sure. Yeah. There you go. You're welcome, sir. Thanks for stopping by and sharing your knowledge. Bye-bye. So that was Tavi, T-A-V-I. Sarah has subscribed, so you get some island plane spotting action with Tavi. I don't know what the noise issue with that microphone is. Do I have another microphone? I got a million of them. Hang on. Trying to untangle a backup microphone to see if it's any less noisy. Or if it works at all. Definitely less noisy, but it doesn't pick up any sound. Try one more input here. No, that doesn't work at all either. Okay. So I'll stick with our kind of noisy backup microphone there. Okay, so we do have some time-filling things to keep your attention going here. We have viewer photos. In fact, we have so many viewer photos. We have 2 segments of viewer photos, so we should get down to that right now. So to do that, I need to take out that so we can see the full extent of viewer photos. Let's go with take 1 of Runway DFW viewer photos. Boy, I hope I can see these on the screen here. All right, first of which we have we have several photos from Sam Stein. Here's a Sun Country retro livery, 737-800. That is a handsome-looking aeroplane. Thanks for that, Sam. Let's see what else Sam has sent us. There's a very nice shot of an Emirates A380 taking off. Sam didn't say where these were taken, so I'm not familiar with that tower, but super shot of the gigantic bird lifting off. And this is an interesting picture. It's the Bahrain Royal Flight 747-400, an aircraft which carries, as you might expect, the Bahraini royal family in modest luxury. Next up is this assortment of aircraft. This apparently is from Fairbanks, Alaska. And these, I think, are all owned by the same company. Is it Wien Air Alaska or Wine Air Alaska? The one on the left is a British Aerospace 146, that white plane with the 4 engines on the wings that are attached to the top of the fuselage. To the right of that, in the background, is a DC, what is that? DC-6. We don't see the whole thing, but we see kind of, and in front of that is a Curtiss C-46 Commando, and then in the foreground is a Cessna Grand Caravan. There's quite an assortment of interesting aircraft in that picture. Thank you for those, Sam. What do we have here? We have a Jenna Saladino with her rendition of, well, not her rendition, but her photograph, apparently taken from another aircraft, of the American Airlines Astrojet livery on a 737-800 at what looks to be DFW Airport. So thank you for that, Jenna. Always a favorite to see. And in that same vein, we have a drawing of the American Airlines retro livery, the one with the AA on the tail, and that is from Jocelyn C. So thank you, Jocelyn, for sharing your artwork with us, and thanks for all of you for sending those in. And if you have a viewer photo you would like to share with Runway DFW, there's our address, walt@runwaydfw.com, and we will have some more viewer photos before we depart. Let me put our weather and time information back in there. I don't think I showed you earlier. I meant to show you this map. Well, where the heck are you, Walt, in the Cayman Islands? Well, that's where we are. We are 1,348 miles southeast of DFW. We are south of Cuba. We are east of the Yucatan Peninsula. We are west of Jamaica. And so that is our situation here, where we are at Runway DFW. We have some more killing of time to do here. I think we do, because I did prepare some to make sure that we had plenty of things to fill our time with. So let's get to it here. It's Cayman Islands Time Filler Theater here on Runway DFW. Here we are going to look at boats. There is in dock, this was yesterday, the Celebrity Beyond. And I don't know if I can do it justice as just how big this boat is. We saw it driving through downtown Cayman, and I couldn't pull over to get a picture of it with downtown Cayman in the same shot. But it seems to dwarf the whole city. And there it is with the Burger King flag flying proudly in the foreground. So that's a look at that. So, Mrs. Runway DFW letting Tavi know that he's gained some subscribers, and we're happy to have helped him in that regard. I don't think Tavi, I didn't ask him, I don't think he does any live broadcasts, probably for the same reason we don't do continuous live broadcasts from here either, because there's just not that much going on a lot of the time. There are these kind of bursts kind of between, I don't know, 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. when there's kind of sort of some activity, but not that much. And that again is the Carnival cruise ship currently in the dock. Well, not in dock. They don't have docks here, but it's moored off of downtown Georgetown, which is the capital here, and then there are tenders which gingerly take the passengers betwixt the boat and the shore, where there's a terminal to welcome visitors. And there's the terminal to welcome visitors at Owen Roberts International Airport. Let's one more time give you the lowdown on where we are.
Broadcasting live around the world from Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. This is Runway DFW in colour.
Thank you so much to our friend Warren Barnett, our announcer. Runway DFW at large, coming to you live from Grand Cayman. And once again, we will let you know that we are broadcasting from across the street at City Plaza. There is City Plaza. We're on the second level there, overlooking the airport. We come to you through the courtesy of Property Plus Real Estate. They gave us the nod to come up here and hang out on their property. And we also thank the Glow Luxury Salon for letting us park ourselves, all our gear, right in front of their shop here at City Plaza. So in lieu, well, okay, we do have some action coming in. American Flight 956 from Miami, the MAX 8. Well, it's in 27 minutes it will arrive. So we do have some more time to kill. Shall we kill some more time? I think that would be the optimal thing to do at this point. Let me see which buttons I need to push. What will we go to now? We were talking about cars earlier. And of course, if you look below us, you see cars driving on the left side of the street. The cars have right-hand drive, just as they do in the UK and in Japan and other countries around the world. It certainly isn't the primary way of driving. And here, you'll find cars driving on both, cars with both right and left-hand drive, because the cars come in here from all over the world. And so on this edition of Runway DFW Time Filler Theater, we are going to bring you a look at some motor vehicles here in the Cayman Islands. So this is kind of over the years that Mrs. Runway DFW and I have seen this. I think this picture is from 2012, I believe. This is a Nissan Figaro, a very interesting sports car. They only made this for 1 year, this model. They were in a phase then, I don't think they still do it, but they're in a phase of developing some kind of one-off oddball vehicle every year for limited production, and this is one of them. We just thought it was so cool looking. So that's a Nissan Figaro, which has been seen here in the Cayman Islands. Next up, a Suzuki Lapin, or Lapin, I guess that's a French word for rabbit. And it's a kei car, K-E-I. It has to conform to certain regulations and dimensions and engine size in Japan in order for it to qualify for tax breaks. So they give tax breaks to these smaller vehicles, and the Japanese engineering has made them very usable in terms of space and parking and all that stuff. So it's another one we found here. We got a lot more. Look at this. This is another, I believe this is another K vehicle. This is a Honda Acty, A-C-T-Y, which is just a kind of a micro van, even more micro than the old Volkswagen microbus. It's a lot shorter, but it carries a lot of stuff. And, you see these as delivery vehicles pretty regularly here in the Cayman Islands. Vehicles like this and others that are kind of a similar size. And now we get into the Chinese cars. Chinese cars have kind of invaded, well, they haven't invaded the Cayman Islands in recent years, but there are a lot of them here of all different brands. This is a Chang'an. I'm not sure what model it is, but it's a red Chang'an small SUV. Here is a Haval. That's another Chinese brand, and this one an SUV, although I have seen some Haval pickup trucks as well, kind of the American style pickup trucks, full size, or maybe, I don't know if they're full size, but yeah, all these brands that in the US we just don't see. Here's a Dayan Yehu, or Yuhu. Y-U-E-H-U. It's apparently an electric car. You can see the little charging port there at the front of it. Another Chinese brand. I've only seen one of those. Here's one we saw the other night, and this one is a what is this? I can't remember the brand, but I do remember the name of the vehicle. It's another one of these K cars, which is small, square, boxy, roomy. But I don't think it was necessarily named after the 27th U.S. president. But that's a Taft for you. Now, we're going to this next vehicle. We've only seen one of them, and I didn't have the presence of mind to take a photograph of it, so we're going to have to rely on manufacturer photos for it. But here it is. It looks like it's a regular old kind of small SUV from Suzuki Motors. And, we looked around it, and, this guy wasn't standing next to it. This is, of course, a promotional picture. But you may see the name on the plate. We'll give you a close-up look at the name on the back of it. It's a Francs. And when Mrs. Runway DFW saw that, she and I both burst out laughing because we had never seen or heard the word Francs before. It was just such an unusual name. And so all I have to do now to make Mrs. Runway DFW laugh is say Francs. Apparently this is a car that was co-designed with Suzuki and its affiliate in India. And so I believe that was the first place they made the Francs, and it's since been imported or exported around the world, although not to the US and Canada, but certainly here to the Caribbean and South America and Mexico even, and the Middle East. So there's a Francs for you, and I don't know if I'll ever get over seeing a Francs. So boy, that was a journey, wasn't it? American Airlines Flight 956 from Miami is now a mere 12 minutes away. Is our audio cutting in and out? I don't know. Everything looks okay here. But, everything's in the eye of the beholder. Mattingham has been a TriJet member for 40 months. Francs driving you to the Bronx. Hi, Walt. Mattingham, one of our longest term members, and I really thank you for that. That makes me feel old that we've been on the air so very long. And of course, this December, technically November, is when we'll have our 5th anniversary of Runway DFW. There you see, as do I, Delta Flight 1870. It's going back to Atlanta. We saw that coming in earlier. It's a 737-800. So it's been pushed back. I think the tug is just about to pull away. We get a sip of water here. Pardon me. We have some commentary on the Francs. So Rohit Parkal, one of our mods, says Maruti Motors and Suzuki collaboration. The Francs is the first Indian car to get a 5-star safety rating. Well, congratulations. Sarah with a jewel, sending that in to make sure that I stay hydrated. And I just had some water, thank you. Our Quadjet man, there's that jewel from Sarah, thank you. Alex Airside says, howdy Walt, hope vacay is going well. It is indeed, thank you Alex. One of our Quadjet members. Speaker and Honeydew says, wait a minute. This one was not on radar. Or was it? If it was, I wasn't paying attention. That was a Dassault Falcon 2000 EX Easy. Doesn't say where it came from, but I can decipher that. Well, interestingly enough, that came from this arriving from Addison Airport in the Dallas area. Maybe they'll give us a ride back. Well, that paint job makes it look very, you know, that top half being so dark makes it look like a very pointy-nosed plane, doesn't it? Interesting livery. So coming in right behind it, American Flight 956 from Grand Cayman, no, from Miami. That one will be a MAX 8. There's the Delta plane now pulling out. I think it's going to have to wait, the Delta plane is, until American comes in, or else they'll kind of have a head-on collision, which would not be a good thing. So we should be seeing the American Airlines MAX 8 here just a second or two. What? Did we have a go around? Yes, we did. The American Airlines plane coming in from Miami went around. I don't know if we caught a glimpse of it as it went over our heads. So that'll have a do-over. I don't know, not listening to the air traffic control, I don't know if this plane was a factor. But that's the first go-around I've seen here in our various visits. This is our fourth visit to where our fourth live shot from Owen Roberts Airport over the last couple of years. JMC 2441 says, are there any military planes stationed there? I don't see any, although I believe, if I remember right, I have seen some, what was it? I believe we've seen some U.S. military planes here on previous occasions. Justin Chung wants to know if I will stream the last Fiji Airlines or Airways flight from DFW. I don't know. I know it's early in September. I don't know what the date is, and I don't know what. I know it goes out late at night. So if we're there at night, we will do our best to get a glimpse of it. We were there for its initial landing. When it first started coming to DFW, Fiji Airways, they now have elected to end their association with DFW, at least for now. Yeah, it's kind of sad because they have a very handsome looking plane that they send to us at DFW. So let's see if Delta will get sent out ahead of the return of American Flight 956, which went around. Storm Chaser Mark Texas says, good afternoon, Walt and Chad. Hello to you. Don't have any storms for you to look at, Mark. We do have some clouds. And here goes Delta, back to Atlanta. For some reason, that seemed louder than the other planes. Maybe it's just me. Okay, it seems to be banking. There it is. I know you were probably yelling at me. There it is, Walt. Why don't you see it? So that should clear the way for the American Airlines plane to return. Now I don't see it on the radar. Where'd it go? So I don't know if it has to do with, sometimes these planes...
Caller.
Sometimes these planes go in and out of the radar. They may not have, flight radar may not have full coverage here. Tina Tutu. Did I read that right? Hello, watching from Seattle today. I used to live in Grand Cayman. Enjoy your time. Well, thank you. Well, feel free to join in with any information we might need. That's quite a jump from Grand Cayman to Seattle. A little different weather-wise, yes. So what we're waiting for, we had an American Airlines, oh, here it comes. American Airlines Flight 956 from Miami, MAX 8. It was coming in for a landing, and then for reasons unknown to us, it went around. And so now it's coming back. We'll look to the west of us here to see if we can see it coming in. Above the vegetation. Yeah, I was saying earlier that we met our server last night at an Italian restaurant here. Told us he was a lifelong resident of the Cayman Islands. He was born here, grew up here. He said he felt very lucky to have been able to experience this as his world, and of course he's still here. And he was letting us know that he does travel. He's gone to school in Canada, and he travels every summer to Italy, where the home of his dad, and his mom is Caymanian, so he's been able to see a lot of stuff. Very nice young man. Lots of very pleasant people to see and talk to here in Grand Cayman. Of course, we met with Tavi earlier, who is a plane spotter who came up to say hello, and we're happy to have had him here with us and talk to him on camera for a little bit. So the passengers aboard American Flight 956 from Miami get a little extra sightseeing time out the window as they fly around the island at 1,400 feet. They're supposed to have landed at 1:18, so there's a bit of a delay there. Maybe they'll be able to make up for some of that on the turnaround. So Tina Tutu says, yes, my family's Jamaican, so Grand Cayman is a second home for most of us. And I agree, travel is so important to us. Well, thank you for that. I now see the American Airlines plane in the distance. I don't know that we'll get a good focus on it. With those palm fronds running interference. But Josh pointing out they've had a nice flight seeing tour of Grand Cayman. I agree. We saw somebody in what appeared to be a tourist helicopter earlier. They probably paid a pile of dough for that. So finally, Flight 956 comes in from Miami. This will be a MAX 8 here on Runway DFW live at Owen Roberts International Airport in Georgetown, Grand Cayman, the Cayman Islands. Unless this plane goes around again, I think we'll be seeing it here. Just seconds from now. Oh, here it comes. Still some more viewer photos to get to before we shut things down here. Aunt G says hello everyone, nice location. Yes it is. And you know, as we've said before, it's probably not the best live spotting location for live streaming action because it's just not as busy as a plane spotter would like it to be. It's great if you want to record it and then turn it around and compile it together so there's not as much time to fill, which I think is what Tavi does, who we talked to earlier, who's a plane spotter here. So here's the American Airlines plane. We've got now 2 of these IBC Saabs. On the tarmac across from us. There they are. Be nice to see at least one of them take off. Let's see what's in store for us in that regard. Well, I don't see either of them assigned to a takeoff position here. But I don't know that those are posted takeoffs. Doesn't look like they are. I think the most of the activity has ceased now for the time being. So let's get to some of the features that we weren't able to get to earlier. We've got part 2 of our viewer photos for you. Viewer photos are very well-liked feature of Runway DFW. So let's get to our first of about 9 pictures here. We've got a couple from our friend Texas Girl. There's a belly shot of a UPS 767 cargo jet. She's got a lot of these. Next one. Kind of a silhouette of a DHL Cargo 767 on a cloudy day. Always nice. You can get a nice silhouette shot. Thank you, Texas Girl, for that one. Texas Girl also providing us with this view of a Korean Air 787-9 Dreamliner passenger plane in the vicinity of DFW Airport, wheels down. And I think we got one more from her. Oh yes, the belly of a National Airlines, a 747 jet, cargo jet. So thanks for those, Texas Girl. Oh, there's one more. Kind of a distance shot of the FedEx MD-11. And that's not the only MD-11 we have for you here on the viewer photos segment, because look at this. Samuel Rosebrock sends us this from Indianapolis International Airport, FedEx MD-11. Of course, FedEx still flying its MD-11s, or just resumed within the last few months after the disaster last year involving a UPS MD-11, and then UPS elected to part ways with its remaining fleet of MD-11s because of that. Jonathan Clark favors us with 3 photos, I believe, here. And these are from a couple of years ago when he worked on a catering truck, or worked with catering airplanes at the airport. This is a Qatar A350-1000 with a view we don't normally get. Looks like it's being pushed back or towed in. And there are a couple of interesting views of a British Airways A380 getting resupplied. Again, I'm guessing these were taken from the catering wagon as it was lifted up to the deck of the plane, and where you could kind of peek out over the railing and see the fuselage and the gigantic wing. And that's a view looking one way, and here it is looking the other way towards the tail. So Jonathan, thank you for that. I thank all of our contributors for today's viewer photos, and if you have a photo you'd like to submit to us for our consideration to share with you, there is our web address or email address, walt@runwaydfw.com. Well, I think we're probably about ready to wrap things up. Because we don't have any aviation activity to speak of. Let me check the radar just to make sure nothing's sneaking up on us. Nope. Things are far, far away. So did we have anything that we weren't able to share today? I think we got to everything. All of our specialty time fillers. Yep, I'm looking at our list and I think everything is checked off. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for being with us today. I'd like to thank once again Property Plus Real Estate for letting us be up here. They manage this facility, City Plaza as it's known. And I would like to also thank the Glow Luxury Salon right behind us, because I'm kind of blocking their view a little bit from their salon. And I would like to thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank our mods for hanging out with us on this special broadcast. Thank you to our channel sponsor, James Webb. Thank you to all of our members and subscribers. That's one thing we didn't do. We didn't do our member crawl, and it's too bright for me to see the names on the screen. But as we go, I think we'll do a little montage of that, and then we'll wrap things up. So, and that way, in case anything happens while we're showing you the names of our viewers, of our channel members, then we'll be able to break away without having put all the cameras away. So, all right, so we'll do our channel members, get that all ready to go. I think this is it. There it is. We'll play our traditional membership music, and so we'll have a kind of a musical interlude while I take a little break. We'll show you around the airport as the names go by, and it's just our way of thanking our viewers who are so important to us, who help us be able to do things like this. And don't forget, next month, starting September the 18th, I believe it is, we will be in Los Angeles for a couple of days of plane spotting fun, and that will be followed by about a week in Seoul, South Korea. and we hope to bring you multiple live streams from Incheon International Airport in Seoul. So lots going on here in the future at Runway DFW. We will see you soon, and we will kind of play you out with the names of our viewers who are members of Runway DFW. Once again, this is generally where I read the names of the viewers, and I can't, it's so bright here that I can't read the names off the screen, so I apologize for that, but you know who you are. Here's the Dassault Falcon that came in about an hour ago, maybe less, from Addison Airport in North Texas. Interesting paint job. Don't have any inkling about where it might be going next. You're watching continuous coverage of Runway DFW, crediting our many hundreds of loyal Runway DFW members. Thank you, each of you. Waiting for it to turn around now to take off. So it's a Dassault Falcon 2000 EX Easy. Here it comes. And is it taking off? I don't think it is. Interesting. So is that a test or a malfunction? We don't know. Yeah, one of its thrust reversers did not deploy. And again, don't know whether that was just a test or if that was intentional. And what we also don't know is if it's going to try to take off again or if it's just going to go back to its parking spot. So we're just kind of marking time until we can finish up with our thanking of our viewers who are members of the channel. What's happening with that camera? It's melting down. Well, we're almost through with our membership list. It'll just take another couple minutes. And then we'll do our credits. And then we'll be off. And next time we see you, probably be next Tuesday, which I think is that a new month already? I guess it may be. But in any event, yeah, we won't be doing we'll be coming back on Saturday to DFW, and then I think Unless something intervenes, our next regularly scheduled transmission to you will most likely be on next Tuesday. That plane, which didn't seem to want to take off, is still sitting there. No emergency equipment there. And so, yes, we thank all of our Runway DFW members, Quadjet, Trijet, and Twinjet, for your support of our channel. It's a good thing our membership list ended because we're about out of music.
This is Warren Barnett speaking for Runway DFW, a Runway DFW production, all rights reserved.
Camera failure.